When I first got out here, I was extremely comfortable, and right now, with my security and everything else, $2,800 a month without rent is very doable, and I'm very comfortable. If I had to pay $1,000 a month out here, no, I couldn't do it. I'd have to go find someplace else to live.
That's Bugman. He lives on a boat inside of Boot Key. It's an 1,100-acre abandoned island off the coast of Marathon Key in Florida. Boot Key's the only island left in Florida that still has its natural habitat. He's the only one allowed to live on this island because he got special permission. But one day he might have to move. The island's for sale for $4 million. Bugman's just one fascinating liveaboard that we met when we came to the Florida Keys. They all live down there. Boot Key Harbor is in Marathon Key. It's about halfway down the island chain from Key Largo. There's more people living down there on their boats than anywhere else in the country. Nobody knows how many there are down there. Hundreds, maybe 1,000. Nationally, there's about 100,000 people that live on their boats, and that number's going up as the cost of living's going up. It's like van life, but you're on the water. And some just live on their boats because they love the lifestyle. Everybody I talk to has a plan of some sort. They're going to fix up their boat and sail away, or they're going to trade up for a bigger boat. Some have day jobs, some are retired, some hustle for their day-to-day living expenses. But they're very busy, I can say that. It really is just a simple life. You boat to shore, and you get what you need, and you come back to your boat. And it's $0 to anchor offshore, or on the hook, as they call it. But you need gas for generators and to get to shore and for groceries and whatnot. Some of them save money by using solar power and fishing. I'm going to show you a little glimpse into the world of liveaboarding. And there are entire videos about some of these men on my other channel, Interviews Across America. But let's go back over to Bugman. Now, Bugman lives on that boat right there. He said he had a woman over and we didn't have permission to board the day we met him. So instead, he showed us around the deserted island he lives on.
Everything out here always seems to be a challenge. I don't care what I'm using, what I'm doing. It's a matter of decay, how long it's going to last, when it's going to stop working. And that's everything. I've had a stainless steel cook pot out here that sat out in the sun and split down the side of it. Stainless steel, a good heavy duty stainless steel pot, and it just cracked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, everything. You look at the ground, it's all this plastic in it. It's all decay of things that just, everything goes to hell. Everything rots, no matter what it is.
Well, how hard is it for you to get into town? I mean,
now it's becoming a pain. When I had that boat that we're working on now, it's a 14-footer. That handles a big load of water and gas and everything. I shoot in and out with a 15-horse Merc, so it doesn't cost that much, and it works really well. Now I bought a littler one, but at my age and my limitations, it's too hard for me to move around in it. It doesn't have the balance of the other boat.
Bugman showed us around the studio he has set up inside of an old radio station on the island. He told me he wants to produce a kids' TV show about living on a boat, but doesn't know if it's going to happen or not.
Here's some of the instruments in here. I don't know if it's light enough for you.
Yeah, I can see.
But a bosun's whistle, a little sundial with a compass in
So
it.
you're going to shoot that in this room?
I was going to, but
Okay.
I don't know how long I'm going to be here. They're selling the property, and I have no idea what the determinations are, what they want to use the property for. There's restrictions on it and everything, but I have no idea whether they're going to let me stay here. I mean, I would be willing to rent a lot or whatever, but that's up to them. I have no idea. So they're keeping me in the dark. Now here's the sextant I got. Now all this stuff I've gotten and found it cheap enough to resell. So I have to build a website so that when I'm doing the show, I can steer the parents. I have to figure a way to steer the parents to the site first so that children have the instruments in their hands before we start teaching them. So that way they'll have them with them. I've never seen any children's programs out that are teaching children anything anymore.
So talk to me, who's selling the island?
Mr. Nescone owns the island.
Okay.
And he's just, there's nothing that he can do with it anymore. He gave me the privilege to be out here for the last 10 years just to keep squatters and stuff off, and I've done that, and now I'm getting too old. They want me to do physical labor, and at 71 years old and with arthritis and crippling degenerative disc disease and everything, I just don't want to do it anymore. But here, I'll show you how we keeping it running.
All right.
I'm hoping they let me rent this lot right here.
So you may be moving from your boat onto back here?
No, nobody can live on the land.
Nobody can live on land?
No, that's part of it. I guess.
Oh, there's water over here.
Yeah, this is the other part of the canal.
Oh, okay.
So I would just move my boat over here.
Okay. So what made you choose this lifestyle, Bugman?
It was all a blessing. I like the minimalist thing. I was living on an island when I had my boat. The boat I'm living on, I had up in Wisconsin. I bought it. I brought it back to new. I mean, we did everything. We rebuilt the motors. We re-waxed her, re-shined her. I even redid some of the fiberglass inside of her. And brought her down to Mississippi. Came down through Chicago, down the Illinois River. Came down to Mississippi. Crossed the Gulf of Mexico on a moonless night. You never seen anything like it. You ever get a chance to do the Gulf of Mexico on a moonless night, you don't just see stars, you see everything. You see the formations, you see the circles that they're forming, and everything else. It was just an incredible. The people I came down with they had a catamaran that he built. The catamaran out of his dad's wood that he harvested off of his dad's farm up in Canada, and he built this massive catamaran. Beautiful boat, really genius of a man. When we came across there, he goes, "Dave, I got you on my radar, don't worry. Get up on your fly bridge, turn all your lights off, and just look up." And it's like you could see the cosmos. I've never seen so many stars, and he planned this. He planned that specific day when there was no moon and everything else. And we just slowly went across the Gulf. But when you looked up, like I say, everything you could see, like formations, like you're seeing cosmos start and stuff. I've seen a lot of stars in my life because I've always loved nature and I've always loved to be out in the woods and stuff. And that was something to really remember. Boy, I'm tired and I'm losing my balance. Because your boats get filled with everything that aren't supposed to be on a boat. And that's from living on them. It's just a condition that you live on them. And when I first got down here, I was over at the different marinas and stuff, and my boat looked like brand new. Now you look at my boat and it looks like it's 100 years. Well, it's 50 years old is my boat. And it looks horrible. You feel bad about how you've let it go, but at the same time, it's all the adventure it's been on. That boat's been through a lot. And now if I have to leave here, I have to bring that boat back to seaworthy. So that boat that looks like a wreck has to come back to full life. Motors got to be running and everything. The motors are running. I mean, I rebuilt both motors before I left Wisconsin 15 years ago. And then when I got here, I shut the petcocks off and never started them, And you look out, all you see is mountains. You don't see a house, you don't see a road, you don't see anything. And I thought, this is heaven. That's my idea of heaven, is when you can see things. Right now, I'm in the mood of trying to figure out my next move in order to protect myself so I don't get stuck in a place I don't want to be. And so I've got the Virgin Islands. A buddy is sitting over in the Virgin Islands, living in a house hanging off the side of a mountain on a tectonic place that gets 7 to 8 earthquakes a day. And he's going, "Bugman, you got to get out here. You're going to love this. It is the perfect setting for you." And it is probably because I've been out here for 10, 12 years. And you grow with nature.
Across the harbor, over there by those docks, that's where I met SpongeBob. That's him right there. Oh, here he comes. The legend, the man himself, SpongeBob. Everybody knows SpongeBob. His main gig is leading eco-kayak adventures into the mangroves on the same island that Bugman lives on. His real name is Dean Halbert, but nobody calls him that anymore.
They start growing from a seed like that, and then they grow like this, and this is one seed. And what's interesting about this is there's 2 branches here. Now look at this.
SpongeBob lives on a boat that he pulled right out of Boot Key Harbor. It was sinking, it was abandoned, and he said, "I'll take it," because that's the kind of guy he is. This is his main mode of transportation right here. This is his vehicle to get to and from work.
But I used to just come in by kayak. I used to pull my kayaks in, 4 or 5 at a time. Now I've got, I've got 10 on my boat. I live out in the water. Like I said, try to be of the brine, of the salt, literally, I used to actually live on the island back there. So back by the radio tower. And my brother and I sort of get sibling rivalry. And so one day we were going to get into it, and I was like, okay, no more, and I saw this yacht that was a Hurricane Irma victim, and it was marooned where this other boat was. We'll see it here in a little bit. But I literally raised it up out of the ocean and commandeered it using maritime wrecking laws, and lived on it for 5 years until I bought the new yacht that I'm living on. So, but this is the harbor that we go through, and the natural ecosystem of the Keys, the only island that's left with its natural habitat per se. Now you see that boat, and that was how my boat that I use maritime wrecking laws, how I commandeered my boat.
Okay.
It was just like that. It sat on its side for 5 years. The largest residential boat harbor in the United States. And I haven't seen any of the other boat harbors, but most boat harbors are pretty small. They're like this size. This goes for 3 miles in that direction. And gives you some type of safety during the hurricanes, but then again, there were 1,000 boats moored here during Hurricane Irma, and only 9 survived. 9. So you got to be right against the mangroves.
All these boats people live in.
Every single one's a live-in. That's my new boat right there, right here, the sailboat. I mean, it's new to me, but it's got a full 1-bedroom, the big screen TV, the full kitchen, full bathroom. Those are my big 15-inch stage speakers on the back. And then the other boat, the engine was ruined. The engines were ruined, so I had to put an outboard on it to make it legal. That's my jet ski dock, but I bought the hot rod instead of the jet ski. But every single boat here is lived on.
And it costs
Nothing.
$200 a month or more, or what does it cost?
0.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just park your boat and live.
Now, if you're with the city marina, then they're going to charge you like $500 a month, and you get parking, bathrooms, whatnot. I just moved onto the sailboat in the last 10 months maybe, and a sailboat's super nice, comparatively. I mean, the big boat was underwater, so I had to pump the water out and redo the floors and just put it all back in shape again. And I mean, if you want, I'll take you over to the sailboat. It's amazing. You get in the sailboat, you're blown away how big it is, for how small it is. We'll go in for a second. I mean, it's messy as can be, but I mean, I'm on the water, and my maid, it's ironic because she's coming over today. And
you have a maid?
Well, I mean, you get spoiled, and but yeah, I have someone who does my internet. I have a maid. I have an eco tour guide now, Lexi, that you met. But it does always, for coming out here, and in life you have your ups and your downs. And I was coming up from a down, staying with my brother out on the island on his houseboat by the radio tower, and then, you know, commandeering that boat. You know, I mean, that boat's massive inside. I mean, mine's laid out better, right? But it's huge, and it's like an old Corvette on the water. So I was able to use maritime wrecking laws to legally own that and commandeer it. And the key behind it was putting that outboard motor on it. And now Lexi's husband per se, is inside there right now, running with the generator, running the AC. And of course, all night I was running the AC.
All right, so this is a sailboat.
Yeah.
This is where you live.
24/7, and it's messy, but. And I can grab my bag.
Permission to board.
Absolutely.
All right. This is where all the magic happens.
Yeah, come on in.
All right. So you got your sink here.
Yeah.
You got your living room. Oh, you got your flat screen.
Bedroom with another flat screen over there.
Okay. Oh, you got another bedroom.
And TV's back around the corner.
Oh yeah.
It tucks underneath. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how big. You know, this is like one of the biggest, fattest sailboats you can get. You know, and then so this is my backup hat that I bought from that sponging boat. Right? So that's my backup hat. And you can feel how soft it is, but it's just a sponge.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, I mean, literally it's one of these, you know, and that's what they process them for. But again, most utilitarian hat I've ever had because it keeps me cool. And for what I do, you know, living on the water, you know, being of the brine, as it were, so called, you know, it fits. You know, I think the truck was the final thing. Or I think actually the final thing that'll put it all together will be when I get a jet ski for the jet ski dock. You know, and yeah, it's a surreal life that I feel extraordinarily blessed in, and this is it. This is my gig.
There's got to be some downsides to living on a boat.
Yeah, I mean, bringing water, like I'm almost out of water. You know, now when I say out of water, you know, turn it on, I've got water, right? You know, bathroom, you know, shower, whatnot, but you got to bring the water here. And I live, amazingly, 50 gallons a week, okay? I take a 2-gallon shower, right? And, you know, and usually a freshwater shower every other third day or something, and then jump in the water, you know, in the ocean. I mean, that's you know, the salt, you know what I mean? So skin's always good and exfoliated. And it does get hot, you know, like normally I have the air conditioner on.
This is your AC?
Yeah. And so I turn on the generator, turn on the AC, and I'm fully solar powered. Like right now, you know, it's interesting because I can, oh, what a let's see if I can do this. I mean, for a boat, this boat is decked out really nice because, I mean, I've got permanent internet. Check it out.
Got internet out here. Are you on satellite internet?
No, just T-Mobile.
How do they get the cable out? How does that?
It's wireless.
Okay. Coming from.
Right, and then my solar keeps the signal on, and of course I've got cameras, you know, and I've got one of these in the bedroom too, and But again, it's all about just working
Right
out.
now, President Donald Trump
working
is
out the
in
quirks.
China for a
I'm gonna
highly
turn that
anticipated
off.
summit
Yeah.
with the country's president, Xi Jinping.
And then I guess the city comes by and pumps you guys out once a week.
Yep. Listen, you have to be, to live out here on the water, you have to be of the salt. It is definitely a certain mindset to live out here and to be committed, because power is one of your first challenges. Water, mobility, you got to be able to get your boat into the island during a hurricane. So it's protected. I mean, in a hurricane, more than 9 out of 10 boats 19 out of 20 boats are not going to make it, right? So, and it's actually you think about the numbers: 1,000 boats during Irma, and 9 survived. Wow, right? And now that's of course in the harbor. You've got to take your boat and you've got to put it like right against. And the problem with that is it deep enough to where you can bring your sailboat in if you have a keel, and then you're going to be washed. Like my boat was washed into such shallow water that I had to wait 3 months for a king tide, for the tide to be high enough to get the boat off of where it was in the shallows, and we only get about a good king tide about 4 times a year.
He's just sitting on his boat, reading a book. I mean, I keep saying this when we're here. What a life. Yeah. Permission to board? And I saw you sitting here last night, and I was like, maybe he'll talk to us. So I thought maybe I could get you for a few. Yeah, what's your name, and what are we doing here today? This looks like a wonderful life.
I'm John. This is me and my Sandy's boat. My wife Sandy. That's our boat. We decided about 18 years ago we were going to start living on boats, and that's what we've been doing. About 10 years ago, when Hurricane Irma come through here, nine years ago,
I'm gonna put this right here.
I decided to come down and see if I could help out with the hurricanes and maybe get myself a boat and get situated down here. And I've been here 10 years now, have my own handyman business, and we're doing good. So it all worked out great. I mean, we get tired of the scenery, we untie the boat, go pick another resort, and going to do it for about another year, and then we're going to sell it all and head to St. Thomas and buy another boat, and that's going to be our retirement right there. But yeah, it's nice down here. I like it. You got any questions about it? I mean,
I think that your way of life is very interesting. Was there one day when you decided I'm going to live on a boat, or was it
well, I grew up on an island, and I bought my first boat and started a seafood business when I was 10 years old.
Oh.
So I've bought boats for the last 53 years. I love boats. I joined the Navy. I've been around the world twice on an aircraft carrier. So I mean, But yeah, I've always wanted to be on the water. My wife loves the beach, so I kind of tricked her. We don't have a lot of beach down here, but she's surrounded by water, so that was our goal, to retire somewhere on a beach, beach area, and I can't think of a better place than St. Thomas. I was over in the 80s and fell in love with it, and so yeah, it's fun. It's got some disadvantages. Hurricanes can be a little rough, but luckily we haven't had a major one down here in a few years. So. My wife wants to try doing the camper thing, but I don't know how that's going to work. But maybe next year when we decide to move, we'll sell this, and I'll take her cross country in a camper and see how she likes it before we go to St. Thomas. But it's fun. It's the only way I could think of retiring and being comfortable and doing something I like to do. I come down here to retire, really. I've been working 7 days a week since I got here. I fished every day in Maryland when I lived in Maryland. My boat left the dock on the weekend and didn't come back till Sunday. I moved to the fishing capital of the world, and I've been fishing 6 times in 10 years, But it's the end game, trying to get there and fully retire, and it's working so far.
What's a day-to-day like on a boat here?
I mean, at the dock, it's nothing to it. Out in the harbor, it's a little different because you come in and out by dinghy every day. But my wife hurt her knee, so we have to use the ramp for her to get in and out. But it's just like any other day. She works down at the hospital in Key West, and I work up here, and pretty great.
Neighbors? Yeah, this guy over here, he's got like the whole thing going.
Yeah, that's a neighbor of mine over there.
Do you guys, is it like a normal neighborhood when you guys are like?
Pretty much. It's just like any other neighborhood. Everybody's got their own little characteristics, but we all try to respect each other and live by dock rules, you know. Mind your business, don't mess with other people's stuff, and help out if you can. That's the only rules you got, you know. And it works good. Been happy everywhere I've been. I was on the Ball for 3 years. I was at Coconut Cay for 3 years. I've been over here for over 3 years, but it's the only way to live down here if you're trying to do it on a budget, because rent down here is outrageous. You know, you just can't do it.
What does it cost to park here?
Right here, I pay a little bit less than $1,500 a month. That covers water, Wi-Fi, pump outs, shower room, laundry room, all, you know, and that's not bad. Plus, it's your boat, so you got to keep the maintenance on your boat and keep your insurance up and everything. Yeah.
Can I show your boat a little bit?
Yeah, you can show a little bit.
Can you tell me what type of boat it is? I'm not a boating guy.
36-foot main ship, double cabin.
All right.
Got twin 350 engines. Perfect size for me and my wife. We got a nice captain's quarters. We got a V-berth if visitors come. A nice salon area and 2 heads, TV, everything's on it. I mean, you know, it's just like a house, except it floats. And every now and then you have a problem on a boat, but that's anything really. You have problems on your house too. Your heat pump goes out, whatever, you know.
Where's the furthest you've taken this boat?
This one I haven't taken very far at all, just right around here. I'm not planning on taking this on a long trip because I'm getting too old now for that. I'm gonna sell everything here, go over there. I'm gonna buy about a 54-foot, and that's it. That's my retirement.
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah.
You got it made, brother.
Well, it's been a hard road. I've worked for this. Like I said, I work 7 days a week, so.
I know it's really hard.
Do that.
Yeah, you know?
There, take that.
You guys are funny.
Okay. We kind of are.
There's a thing about called be positive, because negativity will kill you.
I call it. It will.
All right, what are we doing? Where are we?
We're in Marathon, Florida at Key Harbor, enjoying life a little bit. I'm an artist named Ed Krell, EDKRELL.art on Instagram, and I came to the Keys to make some beautiful art and try to wake some people up to what beauty is laying around them that we just pass by every day.
Tell me about the art.
Well, I do mostly chalk, but giant chalk art on canvas. So it's a very different process because you have oxidization and everything, but my art lasts a good long time. So it's a lot of processes to it. But I also work in acrylic and oils and everything, and they're a little bit timely and expensive. So we came down here to the Keys just to make some beautiful art, and we have a bad problem in traffic. We have like dolphins getting away and manatees in the morning. So it's really interesting that the only thing we have to worry about is crossing through the water to come to shore. And at the end of the day, we just love going back out on the water. It's just a beautiful thing. It's like this morning we woke up, we had sea turtles next to the boat, dolphins, and manta rays jumping out 6 to 8 foot in the air.
There's something right there.
You know, that's the mullet are spawning. So yeah, and then soon there'll be the tarpon will come in. So the water gets really active at nighttime. I wouldn't recommend swimming at night. It's probably not a good thing. So, but yeah, so I'm originally from Maryland. I'm a visionary artist. So I do art that takes a long process to kind of take people on a ride with it. And I've made art all the way down the coast to get me here. And now I own a 34-foot 1968 Morgan Classic sailboat, ready to run back to Maryland and sail. So right now we're just getting the boat ready, and then we're gonna make art all the way back up. It'll be a really interesting, fun time. But it's a really interesting life here on the water. You know, just the fact of the people you meet. You can meet somebody. The other day I was relaxing with a lady from Australia. Traveled all the way from Australia on a sailboat just to be here. And we live here. So it's kind of ironic that you run into so many different people and factions of people here in Marathon, Florida. It's really an awesome place. You know, you have everything from castaways to birdines to porkies, and they all love like supporting local artists too. It's really awesome. You know?
You live on a boat then out there.
Yes. So my boat is about a quarter mile that way on the water.
So to get here, you take a little dinghy.
Yeah, I have a dinghy with a little motor. And brings us in the shore. So that way I can walk my dog and come to shore.
What are the downsides of living on a houseboat or on a boat?
On a sailboat in the harbor? The only downside is when the weather gets really crappy. It's a little hard to get across the water, but it's not really too hard. I grew up on the water. I'm from Hoopers Island, Maryland. So we're from the fishing, crabbing community, like the blue collar side. So we're used to the water at all times. So it could be 10-foot waves or no waves at all, but we still go to work on it. You don't really have a choice. But yeah, so I left that life, I believe in about September of last year when the markets crashed a little bit, and decided to come down and just try something new. It's really worked out well, you know, to have a $30,000 sailboat under us, to be able to sail anywhere in the world is really cool. It's a blessing. But then also to be able to carry all the art supplies and all the equipment, everything right on the boat. It means anywhere we pull up to, we can break out giant art. And I actually have a floating platform coming to where I could do a 20-foot by 20-foot piece of art floating in the harbor in real time. And then we're gonna video it and put it on my Instagram channel.
What is that again?
EdKrell.art. So, yeah, if you look that same thing up on YouTube, you'll see the videos that we posted, other people we've ran across just like yourself, where we started this adventure 7 years ago to use art to change the perspective of people and just show them that there's positive out there. Even though this world just went dark and crazy this way or that way, but there's really good people. You just got to look for them and be positive when you do it. You know, negativity does never work for being an artist. You know, negativity and misery, you know, attracts more of the same. It's like screaming in a silent room, be quiet. You'll get more of what you don't want. So art has always attracted people, you know. So when you make really big, vibrant art, people come and look at it, and you make people stop for a second from their daily thing. It's almost like smell the roses. But when they see something really big like that, they just stop and look. And for an artist, that is all the paycheck I need. Just to be able to show somebody a little different way of looking at things, or some other kind of artwork. You know, it's really, really cool. Yep, that's Senor Smokey. He's been on the water his whole life. And he sits with me every time I paint. He's been from Coney Island all the way down to Virginia Beach, to the Outer Banks, to Savannah, to St. Augustine, to here. He didn't like Daytona Beach too much. There's no boardwalk left from the hurricanes.
There's a lot of people that can't afford to live in the Keys, and that's why they live on their boat,
the average
too.
cost of living here now is about $3,500 a month for a one-bedroom. You can't even make that money off of one job here. So if you anchor your boat out on a ball, you might be spending a couple $100 a month, but then all your money goes into making your boat better. So my plan when I came here was score an old boat, rebuild it, and sail back, and then come back again, you know, and just go wherever the tide winds blow. So it's gonna be cool. It'll be all on my site. Also, all my other locations that we were just at, all the military bases, all the places we went is definitely on my Instagram. You might not agree with everything that is on there, but you'll see the adventure. It's all an adventure.
Now back over to Bugman again. So he's optimistic that once Boot Key sells, he'll be able to remain the island's only resident. And if not, he says he'll move his boat and all his stuff back out to Boot Key Harbor with the rest of them. Or maybe he'll just sail down to the Caribbean one day. He doesn't know. The world awaits.
Yeah. I would love to pull that. I want to put a 60 horse on this and go from here to the Virgin Islands with a 60 horse. I don't want to fire up the big car motors in there because they just use up gasoline. A 60 horse is going to use 6 gallons a day. So I can carry about 10 tanks and make it to the Virgin Islands.
But after spending a day with these people, I was very inspired to see people living life on their terms without the creature comforts that most of us enjoy. Well, comforts is a relative term. I think these people are just happy the way they are down there. I don't think they want to be a part of you and I land ever again. If it were up to them, I think they'd be as far away from us as they could get. The end. Okay, so we're now the most traveled channel in America. We've seen so many places and continue to get into the rest of America. If you're looking to move and you want help with the real estate agent or need ideas on where you can move, email me or click the link in the description. My video call consulting program might be perfect for you. I also have a new ebook. It's a comprehensive guide on the best and sometimes worst parts of the country that you can move to. We update that book all the time as we travel. The details for the consulting program and the ebook are in the description below. If you want Mappy merch, like t-shirts, stickers, and mugs, there's a link to my store in the description, or just click store at the top of the channel. You should think about joining as a channel member. Click the link in the description, or click on membership at the top of the page, or just scan this QR code on your screen. As a member, you'll get to see all the excerpts, Mappy bloopers, and uncensored content. There's even stuff I did back in college on there. I also do cameos. I can send your birthday wishes or hellos or whatever you want in a video message straight to your inbox. The link to my Cameo page is in the description. And finally, we have another channel that you should subscribe to. It's called Interviews Across America, where I upload all the uncut, complete interviews with real Americans from all walks of life. The link for that channel is in the description too, or just search for Interviews Across America. That's it. Thanks for watching. And look, Bugman even gave me an anchor necklace charm. So now I'm an official member of the Florida community from Bugman himself.